Hello, my name's Amanda. Welcome to my channel. I'm glad you're here. Today we're going to talk about cord cutting. And this is a really important video, so it's not going to be long. Watch till the end because this could really change your life. And if this practice resonates for you, then you're watching this for a reason. So quickly, many of us have been in very enmeshed relationships. Maybe we had a narcissistic parent. Maybe we were in an abusive romantic relationship. Maybe we have friends or ex-coworkers that we've had to step away from because we didn't have good boundaries, and we became way too enmeshed with them, and we lost part of our sense of a self while we were in that relationship, and we somehow had to make space later on. Just because we made space in the physical world doesn't mean there are not energetic connections that still remain. Sorry to say. In plant medicine ceremonies like ayahuasca, many of us can see these cords. They look like translucent, to me anyway, they look like translucent blue vines, tendrils that go between different people. And you don't have to be in a plant medicine ceremony to see this. Many people have, psychic downloads, or their third eye is very open and they can see energetic cords. So you don't have to see these cords. You just have to know that they're real to feel and believe that this is a reality and you can do cord cutting. And so what we want to do is, even though we are physically separated from some of these people and we have moved on and we have really shifted in many ways in our life, we still might be experiencing a lot of intrusive thoughts about that person and about that connection. We might still experience a lot of heavy feelings about that connection. And most sadly, we might still be making decisions, spending our time, having dreams and goals that belonged to that person or that were real to us while we were very connected to that person, that might have to do with that person's dreams or goals. This is especially true if you grew up in a family where you had a parent that was very dominant and that didn't really honor or like your preferences, didn't like how you wanted to dress, didn't like how you wanted to do your hair, didn't like the type of friends that you had and encouraged you to have different friends, didn't like the hobbies or the interests you had and instead redirected you towards their hobbies and interests. Same goes with like college or career or whatever. You might not have followed your career path that was really on your heart, or you don't even know what that is because it was kind of intruded upon you to have very different goals. And that's really sad, but that's really common. And so even though we might be, in our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, this can still be affecting us. We might be still living out parts of our life that was somebody else's idea and dream. And we don't want to think about that because that sounds like a lot of wasted years on things that weren't really part of our heart. But don't worry about it because that's like a lot of us. The great thing is that you're here and that you're ready to see what energy is still kind of like between you and that other person that's shared, that really belonged to them in the first place, that was really overlaid and imprinted on you from their desires and had nothing to do with you. So let's get going now, if you had a parent like that, and cut some cords. Also, if you had, a romantic relationship where, that person's needs were put ahead of your own and you didn't have very good boundaries, and then you ended up living years of your life in a relationship that really served what that other person wanted, what they felt comfortable with. Maybe you didn't go out with your friends or travel or do things that you wanted to do because they wanted you home. And that can feel like some lost years, but don't worry about it. You've got plenty more. And so what we want to do now is to cut the energetic cords so that not only are you discontinuing what they wanted for your life, but we're clearing out the way for what could pop up and spring forth from you. Because I promise you, nothing can really pop up and spring forth from your heart, your own individual dreams and aspirations, if their stuff is still there. And for many of us, their stuff is still there. So it's a very simple thing to do a cord cutting. All you need to do is find some quiet space with nobody else around and have some kind of a symbol, like a pair of scissors and a string. I like to use a fruit and a big knife. And yeah, even if you're not super connected to them, to welcome your guardian angel, healthy and well ancestors, divine spirits of God, to be witnesses to support you because they want you to move on to. You might want to tell somebody, tell a good friend that hopes the best for you, that kind of a friend, that you're doing a cord cutting ritual, so that you kind of have the mental support and the accountability with that other person. That's helpful too. And kind of like after you've welcomed your guardian angel and any spiritual support that you have, to envision and speak to a higher aspect, the higher self of the person that you're cutting cords with. I would say something like, hey, Amanda here. I understand that we've made a lot of space from each other in the physical world. I'm grateful for everything that I've learned. I know that we had, beautiful experiences together as well as troublesome ones. But in this moment, I am cutting off the connection between me and you, where our lower natures are connected to each other and there is too much mixed up energy, where there's too much enmeshment, where I'm living out dreams that don't belong to me, that belong to you. And I'm going to be sending those back to you now. They can belong to you and you can live them out. But I am keeping my own energy separate from that now, so that the Great Spirit can bring forth new ideas, creative aspirations, and new people, all the good things that have been planned for me, because I am a child of God. So you can let the higher self of the other person know that, and to also recognize that we're always connected in oneness in the higher realms. Our higher selves are always connected. There's nothing we can do here on earth to disrupt that connection, so no worries there. We're just dealing with the lower nature and the energetic cords in the lower natures. And then grab your scissors, grab your knife, and whew, do your cut. Do your cut and give thanks. Give thanks to the Great Spirit for this opportunity, that you have the personal power to be able to do things like this. And yeah, if you're not feeling confident or strong about it, I would definitely tell another person that you're doing this, because we really could use all the support we can get. And this can bring a lot of unexpected gifts to your life, because when we're sending back all that belongs to somebody else back into their field where it should have stayed in the first place, then there's space. There's space for you to dream. So don't be surprised if you get some really out of the blue, out of the box ideas of places that you want to go, or things that you want to learn, or the type of people that you would love to meet and spend time with, or just like little projects in your life that you've never thought of, but bring you a lot of momentum and motivation suddenly. Because we're literally making space for spirit in our life, and removing this stagnant stuff. So that's really exciting. And who knows where that could take you, Making one small decision to take one small trip, or to message a certain person, or to buy the supplies to start a certain project could lead you to who knows where. You don't have to think about the big picture. You just have to be open after doing a cord cutting. And it's really normal. There's a couple things to expect after a successful cord cutting. It's really normal to feel a lot of heavy emotions, heavy energy, maybe memories of old circumstances with that person might pop into your life, and you might think, oh, this is heavy. What happened? Maybe I didn't do this right. That means you did do it right, because that means whatever was kind of residual that belonged to your relationship with that person is now moving up and out, and you're noticing and feeling it. So feel even really heavy feelings such as anger or grief, or you might even have a beautiful experience that you've forgotten about with that person to give thanks for. But make sure that you feel and notice these really intense things that might move through. Another thing that often happens after a powerful cord cutting is, even if you're not in touch with this person, they might reach out and contact you, or they might contact you through another person, or somehow their presence online becomes visible to you in a way that it never has. that's pretty normal. They won't know that you did a cord cutting, but because you've been putting a little bit of focus into them mentally, that can signal something on their end that you come into their mind, and they might feel like reaching out or contacting you to check, because to be honest, like, those energetic cords have changed, so it's going to change somehow on their end. They might feel that or they might not feel that. And you can do this if the person has already died. That's totally fine, because you're still having energetic cords connected to, like, a memory or an energy. Even if that person is not here physically in this plane, the memory of them is. What else? Yeah, it's really important not to have any shame about this, because, like, if you're a regular human being, you'll have enmeshed relationships on some level in this life. So, yeah, so this is actually just like an extra thing to help people move on when they're stuck. And yeah, energetic cords are real. Just be aware that as we're meeting new people and stepping into new connections in our life, we're always going to be using energetic cords, but instead of connecting with our lower natures, like our selfishness and manipulation, or like trying to get our needs met by somebody else, instead of connecting in those ways between the lower natures, it's better to have like more clear, purer connections that really honor that person's ideas and their space and their wishes, and then keeping ours for ourselves, right? But we can still have a connection. We don't want to go back to ever have to do this again. So, yeah, if you've had any really awesome experiences with cord cutting, I would love to hear them in the comments. We'd all love to hear them in the comments. Or if you've got something that's really worked well for you, or a story of what's happened to you after you've done a cord cutting, we'd really love to hear it. And just remember that we are always connected in our higher selves. Outside of space and time. Nothing's going to separate that. I've got a video about the higher self. If you want to learn more about that, I'll drop that into the description or the comments or whatever. And yeah, thanks for watching. Please like and comment, and all the best for your cord cutting. You can do this. It's very easy. It's very real. And I'm excited for you. You have the support of all the other human beings that are also doing this. There are many of us. You're not alone, and you've got the support of all the invisible helpers as well. So don't forget to call them in to support you.